Based on my examination of the field sample, I have decided to adapt an old bagel recipe that I feel produces a bread that is very close to a soft pretzel. Only I'm going to add butter, in fact, 2 ounces of unsalted melted butter, and more water, 1.5 cups in fact, heated to around 115 degrees. To that I will add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and 1 package worth of active dry yeast. That's 2.5 teaspoons. Meanwhile, weigh out 22 ounces of all-purpose flour. That's about 4.5 cups, 1 pound 6 ounces. There we go. Now I've got a tare function on my scale, so I can just zero out the weight of the mixing bowl before the flour went in. Now, clamp this on to your mixer, add your water yeast slurry, and the 2 ounces of melted butter. To bring this together, we will employ Captain Hook. And we're going to do this at low speed just until the dough comes together. When the dough ball comes together thusly, boost the speed to medium for 4 to 5 minutes. This will trigger the great cosmic intermingling of water and wheat proteins like glutenin and gliadin, which form gluten. Well, just about the time that the old mixer crawls right off of the counter, we should be done. Dough should be nice, smooth, and satiny like this. See, it's kind of almost like a matte finish. Comes away in a ball. So we will get rid of the hook, give the bowl a quick spray with some no stick, because as this rises, it will get very sticky indeed. Back in the bowl, we'll cover the bowl with a tea towel. Oh, it's pretty. And stash this in a warm place, say 70 degrees for 1 hour. As you can see, our dough has doubled in size, signifying that it is prepared to move on to the next phase of production. First, we must portion our dough. We have 36 ounces of this stuff, and we would like 8 portions, so that's, excellent, 4.5 ounces each. Now we cut. Now, you certainly don't have to do this with the scale. You can simply divide your dough into 8 even pieces, but trust me, this is easier. Now, we shape. Make sure that you have plenty of room here. Put your ball right in front of you and squish it out with the heel of your hand so you get a little rectangle. There. Now roll it up nice and tight and make a good seam along the bottom. There. Now, start rolling with just one hand. The goal is to push it away with some pressure, then just roll it back lightly and push it again. And when it gets long enough, add the second hand. Now, if you start to see a twist form right in the very middle of the dough, you know that you do not have your hands coordinated, and that twist could become a break point. So be watching for that. Now, our target length is 24 inches, give or take an inch or so. There. Now, for the basic pretzel shape, fold this end around and this end around. And you don't have to press down, just barely pinch so that they join. There, you can move that onto the pan. And then go ahead and cover it with a tea towel and give that a few spritzes of water just to keep it damp. Now, I'm sure there are other ways to dip a pretzel, but I think this rig is pretty sweet. Here I have 10 cups of boiling water in a wide saute pan, to which I've added 2/3 of a cup of baking soda. Now, I'm just kind of bathing the pretzels 2 at a time, lifting them out and dropping them in with a slightly altered splatter screen. You could use a spatula or a spider, whatever you happen to have. I'm just going to scoot those out while they're still nice and warm and get on the next load. I am figuring that 30 seconds should be the perfect amount of exposure for the alkaline to do its job. And of course, the hot water is also going to go to work gelatinizing the starches on the outside. This is, by the way, the exact precise method for making bagels. And I figure that's a good thing. Of course, these are never going to be as golden brown and delicious on the outside as the lye dipped versions, but wait, hold that thought. Many is the pastry item that has received an extra dash of color from eggs. 1 egg yolk thinned with a tablespoon of water should provide enough wash for our entire batch. The other nice thing about the egg wash is it will definitely help that salt to stay in place. Park these in the hot box, 450 for 14 minutes, and give the pans a spin 7 minutes in.